Runway just dropped Gen 3, and yeah, the whole image-to-video hype train is rolling hard right now. You can upload a still, type a prompt, and the model spits out a brand new video clip in just a few minutes. I was hyped too, because Runway has built some genuinely cool stuff in the past, but after poking around, I came away feeling decidedly mixed. So I want to walk you through exactly what I tested, where this new tool shines, where it falls completely flat, and why for most creators, Vizard might actually be the more sensible choice. First things first, using Gen 3 is ridiculously easy to get started with. You just drag an image in, type a short instruction. For example, I tried, "A woman looks around with fear." Camera pans right, and then you wait a few minutes. The render time is impressively fast, and a lot of the basic camera motion it invents feels surprisingly convincing. In some of those clips, the camera pans just feel legit, like they were shot on a real gimbal. But there are a few consistent issues that I kept bumping into across the board while testing. One of the main problems is sudden, jarring changes in facial structure that completely break immersion. You also see these weird color jumps where the palette shifts wildly without any apparent prompt reason. One minute your subject looks like a young woman, and the next minute she inexplicably looks significantly older. Colors can go from perfectly subtle to completely oversaturated neon pink with no warning whatsoever. There's also this recurring sunlight beam artifact that used to plague their older models, and frustratingly, it still shows up in Gen 3. Now, some clips genuinely surprised me in a good way, showing real potential for dynamic action. A turtle swimming sequence, for instance, looked incredibly dynamic and natural. The motion and camera rhythm felt spot on. I also tested a little boy wizard who had an interesting zoom and a decent-looking spell effect. However, the spell seemed to emanate from his fist instead of the wand, which is a strange logical error. Crucially, there wasn't any believable three-dimensional parallax, making the shot feel very flat. For much harder prompts, like a robot transforming into a human in a classic Terminator-style, Gen 3 often just zoomed to a still of a girl and called it a day. For simpler movements, like a robot just walking, it does a better job and even adds cool sci-fi brain effects. But even those added effects don't always read as genuinely real or grounded in the scene's physics. There are definitely clips where Gen 3 absolutely nails it, producing 10-second sequences that stay consistent. These perfect moments feature cinematic color grading, preserved identities, and camera work that actually makes logical sense. Those great moments are awesome, but they feel incredibly inconsistent across generations. Too many other clips either just hold on a static zoom, which gets boring fast, or they make those odd identity switches mid-clip. And honestly, one significant user experience annoyance is this forced cropping requirement. If you upload a high-resolution image, Gen 3 forces you to crop it down before the generation process can even begin. That feels like a stupid friction point that I haven't seen required on other comparable platforms. It's annoying to have to downsize or drastically crop your original source file just to run the job through the generator. So I started doing side-by-sides with other top tools, like Luma Dream Engine for a direct comparison. Luma sometimes blurs toward the very end of its clips, but in certain cases it actually preserves the intended art style better than Gen 3. With a couple of astronaut images, Luma did a fine job recreating the look, while Gen 3 oddly animated the astronaut walking backward. Gen 3 also resulted in heads twisting in unnatural, almost painful-looking ways across multiple attempts with that prompt. However, there's another clip where Gen 3 actually outperformed Luma, a cinematic robot sequence. In that specific case, Gen 3 preserved the motion and the desired three-dimensional style quite well. But Luma, on the flip side, flattened that very same style into something that looks significantly more two-dimensional. It's clear that both of these powerful tools have their own specific strengths and very noticeable holes. I also tested this other generator, which you might see written as Cing AI, or sometimes Cling. Honestly, in many everyday generation scenarios, Cing looks just as good or even better than the others. Its colors stayed natural, the motion choices were generally much more believable, and it felt less prone to making inexplicable turnarounds. But here's the massive thing that links Gen 3, Luma, and Cing together. All of these tools are fundamentally focused on creating short, generated video from a single static image or prompt. Yet the vast majority of creators I actually talk to aren't just trying to make one 10-second motion from a still image. They are sitting on hours of long-form footage, interviews, live streams, event recordings, and podcasts. Their real painful problem is figuring out how to turn that massive content library into dozens of short platform-ready clips that actually perform. That right there is where Vizard comes in, and why I've started recommending it more than these image-to-video toys. Vizard isn't trying to be a cool image-to-video generator, which is a different niche entirely. It's an AI-powered editor specifically designed to automatically find the moments that matter in your long videos and turn them into ready-to-post clips. Think of it this way: Gen 3, Luma, and Cing are great for creating new short assets from stills. Vizard, conversely, is built for creators who already have content and need to scale distribution without living inside a complex editing timeline. Here's the real-world difference I noticed after trying both approaches side by side in a real workflow. With the image-to-video tools, you spend endless time iterating prompts and fiddling with crops, hoping for consistency. With Vizard, you upload one 90-minute video, and the AI does the heavy lifting for you. It finds viral-sized bites, trims them smartly, and delivers dozens of options complete with captions and thumbnail suggestions. You also get aspect ratio-ready exports, meaning the clips are immediately optimized for Reels, Shorts, or TikTok. Instead of wrestling with one-off generated clips that might not land, you get a batch of actually useful edits ready for prime time. Another huge pain point that Vizard solves is the workflow nightmare around publishing regularly. If you want to post consistently, you don't want to manually upload, schedule, and manage every single short clip. Vizard's auto-schedule feature completely fixes this, letting you choose a posting frequency and setting the cadence automatically. No more agonizing spreadsheets, no more late-night emergency uploads, just to stay consistent. And the integrated content calendar is genuinely useful because you see everything in one centralized place. You can tweak post times, swap out clips, and add final captions, all without downloading and re-uploading anything. Also, Vizard's logic for picking viral moments isn't just about loud statements or sudden jump scares. It actively looks for engagement hooks, emotional beats, genuine laugh lines, and surprise reveals that fit successful short-form patterns. It even creates different clip versions so you can easily A/B test performance across platforms. You can get one trimmed for a fast-hit 6-second loop and another stretched out to 30 seconds with added context. That's something the image-to-video tools completely fail to solve. They give you one asset, not a set of cross-platform ready variants. And let's talk about the cost, because Runway Gen-3 is currently priced at the higher end of the market for heavy use. Luma and Cing also have their own pricing quirks, but the ROI for Vizard is usually much clearer for the working creator. The math becomes simple. 1 hour of work spent uploading yields dozens of clips that can drive views and followers. If you're paying per render with Gen 3 and still doing manual edits and scheduling, those operational costs add up incredibly fast. That's not to say Vizard is a silver bullet. Every tool out there has its inherent trade-offs. If your main goal is generating surreal, animated, 10-second pieces from a single image, then Gen 3 or Luma might be your perfect playground. If you're primarily experimenting with pure image-to-animation aesthetics, those tools are certainly fun and highly creative to use. But if you are a creator, marketer, or small team that needs to turn long recordings into consistent social content at scale, Vizard solves the real, everyday friction points. It solves finding the highlights, cutting them smartly, scheduling posts automatically, and managing it all from that single content calendar. One other subtle but crucial advantage Vizard offers is overall consistency in your output. A lot of those AI generations change color, age the subject, or switch identity midway through the short clip. Vizard's auto-editing keeps the people and the overall tone consistent because it is working from the original source footage, not hallucinating motion. That consistency truly matters when you are building a brand. Audience recognition will always beat one-off flashy effects. So what is my final bottom line after this deep dive? I am genuinely glad Runway Gen-3 exists. It is an exciting creative tool, and I will absolutely use it for specific artistic experiments. Luma and Cing are also solid competitors, each showing flashes where they truly shine with unique strengths. But for the everyday grind of content production, turning long recordings into dozens of polished, platform-ready clips, Vizard is the pragmatic creator-first choice. It removes the tedious manual editing, it scales your distribution efforts, and it helps you actually get content out the door reliably. If you want to check out the pure image-to-video fun, you can look up my dedicated tutorial on Cing AI, which is free and a neat way to experiment. But if your real goal is growth, consistency, and spending less time wrestling with apps, you absolutely need to give Vizard a spin. Upload that long video, let the AI find those viral moments, peek at the calendar, and set your posting frequency. Then, watch the machine turn your massive long-form work into a steady, reliable stream of short-form clips that perform. You will spend significantly more time actually making new content and far less time fighting with editing software, which honestly is the ultimate dream. Tell me in the comments what your current content workflow looks like and what kind of media you primarily create. Based on that, I can suggest specific Vizard settings or even a hybrid workflow, mixing these generators with Vizard for mass distribution. If you'd like, I can walk through a sample project next time and show exactly how I'd chop a 45-minute interview into 30 ready-to-post clips.